Efteling is the best theme park in all of Holland and one of the best theme parks in the world. This massive park is located in the Netherlands and it features immersive fantasy theming, an elite collection of dark rides, and a few solid thrill coasters. If you love theming, you need to visit this park. Find out why in this review. Efteling originally opened in 1952, though at this time it wasn't much of an amusement park. Efteling is more of a nature park with some walkthroughs, including the famous fairy tale forest that still remains to this day. Ever since the 1980s, Efteling has been adding larger rides to transform it into a full-fledged theme park. Today, the park boasts 6 different roller coasters, some flat rides, and one of the best dark ride collections in the entire world. The latter is what makes Efteling special for me because of how well the park does theming. They spare no expense. It starts with the ornate entrance known as the House of the Five Senses. This is a massive 171-foot or 52-meter tall wooden structure, and it may be one of the most beautiful entrances of any theme park, if not the most beautiful. Once inside, it's hard not to be blown away by Efteling's beauty. The park is very green. It's loaded with trees for shade, and it has gorgeous gardens as well. This alone would give the park a great aesthetic, but the park is also very well themed. This includes both the rides themselves and the areas around each attraction. You have both the visuals and custom soundtracks for most attractions. The park cares so much about the theming that even the trash buckets are made to look like portly people and their mouths suck in garbage. Because it's so fun to throw things out, maybe this is why the park is so clean. The best example of what Efteling embodies is that aforementioned fairy tale forest. This is a lengthy walkthrough set in the woods past 30 different fairy tales. You could spend hours in this attraction alone soaking up all the details. My personal favorite scenes are Longneck, who just keeps getting taller and taller much to my amazement, and the donkey. If you insert a Dutch coin, the latter raises his tail and poops out a souvenir token, and no matter how good of an athlete you think you are, you're gonna struggle to catch it. The magical fairy tale vibe is reinforced by the employees. Efteling has some of the nicest staff of any theme park. Their customer service is rivaling that at Disney. Now there are 2 downsides to Efteling though. First, the park is massive. It is 178 acres in size, so you're going to be doing a lot of walking. That's especially true if you get lost, and that's entirely possible. It's a bit tricky to navigate Efteling because the abundance of trees hide most of the attractions until you're right on top of them. This is one park where you're definitely going to need a map. 2, the park sees healthy crowds, especially if you go during the summer. The resultant lines and sheer size of the park can make it tricky to do everything. To truly do everything, get re-rides, and see all the thematic details, you probably need 2 days. But you can do all the main experiences in a single day. Efteling has no skip the line system. The signature rides will often have 30 to 50 minute waits. The lines move really fast because the park has incredible operations though. The waits are simply due to demand. There are single rider lines for the main attractions. On the roller coasters, they may only shave 10 to 15 minutes off your wait, but the one Symbolica is a major time saver. That single rider line is rarely more than 5 minutes. One of the best ways to beat the crowds is to stay at one of the Efteling hotels. These resorts are super nice on their own, and they come with a half hour of early entry. That allows you to get a lap on all the major coasters in the back of the park before the crowds arrive. The major coasters are clustered together in the back right corner of the park. Efteling's first coaster was Python, a Vekoma looping coaster. But this coaster was completely rebuilt a few years ago, and now it's glass smooth. The layout may not be too special, but it's an important coaster for both the park and manufacturer. And I do find the 2 vertical loops and that final helix to have some decent power to them. If you want to hear more, this ride has its own review. My favorite coaster is Joris and the Draak. I think this wood coaster is the world's best racing coaster. Not only are the visuals from the fair race excellent, but the ride itself is a pretty strong layout. Built by Great Coasters International, the first 2/3 are dynamic. You have a rapid-fire series of bunny hills that just keep popping you out of your seat. Just make sure you're either riding in the front or back. The middle rows actually have a lower height restriction, and those seats as a result offer a much tamer ride experience. Joris does have a lackluster finale, but the ride is smooth, and I talk about more in a separate review. Baron 1898 is the B&M dive machine. The layout itself is pretty good. You have a thrilling vertical plunge full of floater airtime, and a few other notable elements like a floaty 0G roll, a decently forceful 360-degree helix, and a little bunny hill. But what makes this ride truly special is the theming. Most thrill coasters do not get a full-fledged story like this. Baron has 2 pre-shows and a dark ride scene, as the attraction tells the story about a greedy baron going into an old mine that's haunted by a series of spirits. The entire package is why I like the ride so much, and to go into more detail in its own review. Vogelrock is an indoor Vekoma coaster. There isn't too much to see during the course, as it's really dark, but there are a few fast turns with some moderately positive Gs. It's a solid family coaster. The tamest coaster here is the duo of Mach-powered coasters in Max and Moritz. I like the onboard audio and how the 2 tracks are intertwined, but I just wish the 2 trains interacted more during the experience. The ride isn't too wild, but that makes sense given what this goofy coaster was intended to do. Vliegende Hollander, or the Flying Dutchman, is a fun water coaster. The facade, queue-line, and station all look incredible, and the experience starts with an extended dark ride sequence. There may be less animatronics or statues than you expect, but the empty, foggy atmosphere is deliberate and it perfectly sells that you're lost at sea. The coaster sequence isn't too thrilling outside of one drop, but it offers more thrills than most flumes, so when combined with the dark ride elements, the whole experience is quite good, as I talk about more in a separate review. This one doesn't get you too wet, but there is another ride that can. Piranha is a well-landscaped Intamin River Rapids ride. The rapids themselves are decent, but there is a guest-operated water cannon at the very end that can absolutely soak you. Now let's talk about the dark rides. The star is easily Symbolica. This trackless dark ride uses the technology to the fullest. Vehicles dance around each room, and there are 3 different tours you can select. Each explores different corners of the rooms and gets their own special scene later in the ride. The visuals are incredible. Each room is fully fleshed out with detailed sets and giant animatronics. The ride is truly special. Fata Morgana is similar in scope to Disney's Pirates of the Caribbean, but replaced pirates with Arabian theming. There's tons of detail in the busy sets, and you'll need multiple rides just to see everything. And there's this colossal animatronic towards the end that really catches you by surprise. Droomvlucht is a beautiful dark ride. The miniature visuals are spectacular, and the suspended ride system has a trick halfway through the ride. You have this high-speed downhill section that feels like a pseudo-coaster. Carnival Festival is a bizarre take on It's a Small World. You pass comical and cartoony scenes from various countries. The scenes have some stereotypes, and the ride has in fact received criticism over the years, necessitating some changes. But the infectious soundtrack and visuals make the ride a fun experience. Villa Volta is a Vekoma madhouse. The 2 pre-shows, music, and visuals during the ride section make it one of the best themed examples of this ride, and the movement of the benches sell the effect that you're actually inverting quite well. Then, you also have Spook Slot, which feels more like a show as you watch a haunted scene play out. Speaking of shows, Efteling has a few noteworthy ones. Ravelin is an action-packed experience featuring stunts on horses, plus water and fire effects. The technical production for the show is strong. I've also heard very good things about the Aquanura show that has a series of dancing water fountains set to the park's iconic soundtracks. I have not personally seen the show because I prioritize night rides on the coasters once the sun set, but videos of this attraction do look cool. The park also has a series of observation rides. My favorite of the bunch is Pahode, which is a rare Intamin flying island that gives stunning aerial views of Efteling. I also like the monorail that gives a scenic tour through Laughland. You can alternatively see this area from the ground, but it's much cooler doing it from the air. If you'd prefer to stay on ground level, you have a few options like Gondoletta, although know this one is super long at nearly 20 minutes in length. I know a lot of people who ride this have no clue it's going to go that long. Efteling doesn't have too many flat rides, but it doesn't need them given all their other attractions. One that carousel lovers shouldn't miss is the unique Stroom Carousel. It is a beauty. Then there's this cluster of kiddie rides for younger guests, though it has a shockingly high amount of redundant rides, as you see multiple carousels and multiple swing rides here. Another highlight of Efteling is the food. I've gotten some great things here. My favorite is the fish and chips towards the back of the park, but I've also had a good burger, a delicious pork knuckle, and awesome mini pancakes. So do I recommend Efteling? Absolutely. If you love theming, this park needs to be on your bucket list. The park is super immersive and one of the most beautiful in the world between the foliage, lands, and theming. And the ride lineup isn't too shabby either. The coasters may not be the most thrilling compared to other parks, but both Joris and the Drac and Baron 1898 are quite good. But most importantly, you have those spectacular dark rides and the Fairy Tale Forest walkthrough. So those are my thoughts on Efteling, the incredible Dutch theme park. What are your thoughts on this fantasy park? Do you love it as much as me? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. If you enjoyed this review, I'd appreciate it if you gave this video a like, and you considered subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos here at Canobie Coaster. Thanks for watching.